These 7 static ads are dead simple, but they just keep converting for my 7, 8, and 9-figure clients in 2025, and you can steal them by the end of this video. Hey, I'm Tiana, and I am a creative strategist with roots in traditional copywriting. So I help DTC brands find more winning ads on Meta more often by writing copy-first creatives that actually convert. And today I want to show you 7 static ad ideas that just convert for my clients like crazy so that you can steal them. Now, I am going to be focused on the style of these ads so that you have some easy inspiration to apply right away after this video, but I'm also going to break each one down and look at the core messaging behind them because, as you know, in 2025, messaging is key, and if you don't pay attention to that in your ads, they're gonna fall flat no matter how amazing they look or which style you choose. Number 1, grid style. You have definitely seen this one before, but let's take a little bit of a closer look and ask why it actually works. This is where you literally line up your product or variations of your product in a grid. Visually, it's strong because it's a bit of a pattern interrupt on a scroll. It's super visually pleasing to the eye, and it's very, very easy for your audience to consume. Now, you can apply this style to express a lot of different messaging. So for example, in this ad, the messaging is very straightforward. Save big and act fast, which is obviously great for sales. This ad, on the other hand, has a completely different message. This is focused on variety and optionality. And this is amazing for anything mid to bottom of funnel where you want to push your leads over the edge in their decision-making purchase and encourage them to repurchase by showing them more options that they have. And this is why you see this grid style in fashion and accessory a lot, because it just supports that type of messaging really, really well. And you can also use the grid style static to simply be a visual scroll stopper so that you can communicate a really big, bold claim like in this ad, which also handles very common objections and uses an us versus them as their kind of core message here. Them, in this case, being laxatives, the alternative traditional solution their audience is probably using. Number 2 is the written note. Now, I know you've seen a lot of these, like Post-it notes, they're all over the place, but I want to urge you to think outside of the box on this one. The Post-it note style works super well because it is bright, it's super easy to read, and it looks like very authentic UGC content. But you can also write on a lot of unique, eye-catching, and unexpected things like digital notepads, mirrors, whiteboards, body parts, toilet paper, fruit, vegetables. The important thing is to make sure that whatever you're choosing, your visual is contextual to the message. So the more that your visual aligns with your core message, the stronger the concept will be, the easier and faster it will be for your audience to digest that message. Number 3 is wall of text ads. This is where you throw out all of the rules and you use your static real estate to display a ton of copy at once. This works best when your core message just requires a bit more context, or you're dealing with a less aware audience and you need to do a little more heavy lifting or even education inside of your ad. It's also great for providing value or advice inside the ad up front. So for example, the core message on this ad is "You are not alone." So it tells me a more in-depth story about someone who is very similar to me, and it gives me hope that there is an answer and a solution on the other side. This ad is actually giving me value and advice up front in the ad, which is building trust and authority and ultimately my buy-in. Number 4 is ugly ads. Now, there are a lot of talk about these, and it actually covers a huge variety stylistically. So you could be talking about really ugly ads like this one, or it can just mean really raw, real, basically unedited UGC. It's anything that looks like it's not a typical ad or what you would expect from a big company that doesn't care about you. It's kind of tapping into your audience's desire for a more authentic or down-to-earth brand, and it's unexpected, it's shocking, and of course it's a visual pattern interrupt. It's kind of like you're breaking down this barrier between multi-million-dollar company and your customer. Here are a couple of pointers if you're gonna go ahead with this style. 1, no matter how messy or ugly your ad gets, you need to make sure that you're still using really good design hierarchy to make sure that your message is super clear. Two, a trend that I've noticed with these is that a lot of the ugly ads that are working are actually very nostalgic to the audience. So for example, if it's clip art or the old paint program or an Etch-a-Sketch, you can consider the age of your audience and you can see if you can tap into that a little bit. Number five, incoming messages or notification style ads. So these ads can look like somebody is calling or the text message is coming in or there's an airdrop showing up on your phone. So these ads feel very personal, they feel real, and they trigger these psychological dopamine spikes because they look like a message is coming in for me. So it kind of puts you in a high alert state and makes you pay attention. Number six, comparison table. Now, I don't think that this style is ever going to run out of steam or not work. It's just very simple and it's the perfect way to support us versus them messaging, which is super, super important now in more saturated markets where you're talking to much more sophisticated audiences who are doing more research and being bombarded by other options. So you can use it to compare it directly against another competitor or an alternative or traditional solution, or you can even compare it to life before your solution. It's really great for a solution-aware or product-aware audience who is actively comparing other options and they just need those final questions answered before they purchase. This style of ad helps eliminate common objections, break down skepticism, and the best part is it's very, very easy to digest this message when it's laid out like this. Number seven, this is not groundbreaking, but it will always work. I'm talking about before and after style statics. Why is this still going strong? Because the core message here is it works. So if you have images, you have proof that your product does what it says it's supposed to, or at the very least, you are future pacing your audience, which is just a fancy way of saying that you are making them imagine very vividly how their life is going to be or the outcome they're going to have after using your product. So these are super useful in 2025 when skepticism is at an all-time high. So the more authentic and believable that your proof is, the stronger your ad is going to be. Now, I wanted to give you some super actionable low-hanging fruit in this video, so I focused on styles, but I hope that you're noticing a theme here, which is that underlying all of these styles is a very clear core message that is striking a chord with the audience. No style is more important than the messaging underneath the ad, which is a whole other rabbit hole to go down. So for example, these ads are all what I would call dissection style ads, but the messaging in this one is listing benefits and making bold claims, while the messaging in this one is primarily about handling objections. And the messaging here is around that variety and optionality we talked about. So this is the real secret and the power behind messaging first ads. Once you nail one core message, you can apply it to dozens of styles and variations of those styles. That is how I am pumping out new winning creatives for my clients on a weekly basis. It all starts with just good, simple research and a process that helps me unearth these really strong core messages I can use again and again. So if you want to create winning ads more consistently, I'm going to do a deep dive on exactly how I mine for those core messages through my research. And spoiler alert, it's only 3 steps and it's going to take like 15 minutes of your time. So if you want to hear about that, hit subscribe, hit like so that you don't miss that video, and I will see you there. I'll chat soon.